Friday. Huh. We might be live. Perhaps. Let's see. Maybe, just maybe. I think YouTube is gonna play nice tonight. I think we're actually live through to you guys, but we'll find out soon enough when somebody throws a chat in. We'll see how things are working. Cheers, guys. It's been a minute since we last did a live show. It's been a bit. So I just wanted to do a couple of things in the shop tonight. Just some fun at the bench, I think. But I really wanted to get these rescue kits finished up, and to do those I have to solder the resistor, the 0 ohm essentially shunt for the antenna on each one, so any buyers don't have to do that. So I thought I can stream it, because not everybody gets to play around with this and desoldering very often, so we'll see. Cheers, Armando. We do have chat. So yeah. Oh, I was just getting this quad ready to go for tomorrow too. I haven't used the run cam. I haven't used this quad all summer, to be honest. Oh, excuse me. I was doing some vacuuming in here earlier, and I think I stirred up the dust. But this quad is a beast for a 5-inch. For me, it flies really good. So it's not waterproof, but I'm going to take it out tomorrow. The weather's supposed to be a little bit mucky, but I think we can take it out. I think we can take it out and play with it. But last Saturday or Sunday, I assembled all these rescue kits for the rescue project. But I got to the point where to solder things, and then I just got too busy to complete them. So we might as well complete them now. Is this camera gonna wig out? This camera had trouble with these mats last time, or two live streams ago, probably last spring. The firmware goes wonky when it sees this, but perfect. So here's all the ESP8266s. They're all, cheers. They're all set to go. I've programmed them. I programmed them with the newest rescue firmware, which is I think 2.6. But just the soldering has to be done. And I thought, well, why not stream it, and you guys can see me mess them up live, because I've already programmed them, so of course I'm going to wreck one, right? Nah, we should be good. I think we can do it. Cheers, Tech Mason. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in forever. Where you been hiding? Hope you're well. I haven't seen anybody since COVID started, so horribly disconnected. So down here we should have, hopefully, oh crap, we're going to need possibly an iron too. We should have a microscope, if it's still working. It's lit up, so that's a good sign. And then we should be able to switch over to it. Tabletronics, cheers buddy, how are you? Everybody's here tonight. Wow, for a last minute quickie live stream, got a few people. That's cool. I like when a few people show up to watch me fail miserably. Hopefully the audio and the video is coming across good. Like I said, it's been forever since I've done a live stream, so hopefully I remember how. What are we working on this evening? We are going to do some rescue. I've got these rescue kits. I just filed them away. We'll get them back out in a bit, but these are the ESP8266 Wemos D1 minis that we are going to solder the shunt, the essentially 0 ohm resistor for the antenna, so that if anybody buys these rescue units from me, they won't have to deal with that themselves. Seeing as how I have a microscope and I've done them, but they might have more luck than me, but we'll see. I've done quite a few of these now. So this is the 0 ohm resistor here, and this is the pad that we want to move it to. So we're going from the internal, the onboard antenna, to the UFL connection, or micro UFL, whatever that is, for the external one, in theory. And I just remembered my hot air rework station is set to the wrong temperature. So I was doing some heat shrink the other day. So we're going to do we are going to click around a whole bunch of buttons until I get it right. We're going to use the WEP hot air rework station and just hot air these with a little bit of flux. And we probably shouldn't even need any more solder than what's on the board, I don't imagine. Volume is low. This could be, sorry, I am using I will fix this because I'm talking off camera. When I get back here and when I stop being off camera, it's going to be a little bit better. Try that and see whether that's a little bit better. My cam that I'm using for a mic here is directly in front of me, so when I'm off camera like that, it's going to be a little weak. Sorry about that. When I use any kind of headset mic, I have the trouble that it's always too hot. So I've just given up and gone to this external one. Jeez, this scared the hell out of me. And apparently my flux has gone, I know my has gone sticky. My liquid for SMD solder, but this flux is ancient too, so but with this lead-free solder on this board, usually you just add a little bit of flux and this will flow right into place, usually, in my previous experience, but we'll see tonight. Sound is better? Okay, cool. Right on. Okay, let's get some hot air and a pair of tweezers to manipulate things when I screw it up. And are we on camera? Yep, for the most part. And just like that, first one's done. Nothing to it. And there's our solder. We could definitely take and put some leaded solder on there and do this too, but honestly, that is just fine and dandy with no added solder, just using the lead-free stuff on the board. And that, in just a moment, will save someone else the headache of trying to deal with that. And it's no big deal for a lot of us. It wouldn't be a problem, but some people not too comfortable with SMD. I'm obviously spoiled because I invested in this microscope last year or the year before. It is a glorious tool for work like this. How does that look on video? Not bad. Good enough to get the point across so you guys can see what I'm doing anyway. Good. Okay, so now you can see that instead of hooked to this ceramic antenna here on the board, we're now connecting our microcontroller through to the UFL or micro UFL, whatever this is, connection for our external antenna, for our rescue, for a high gain Yagi antenna or whatever. Pretty cool. That will do the trick. Yeah, or they don't have the flux or hot air station. Exactly. This stuff, I don't know, you can maybe almost tell by the label how old it is, but this has been around here a very, very long time, and I have lots more of the same vintage, and it's not great, it's not good at all, but it does the job just fine. Could be a little better, but there we go. one down. Now I'm just gonna, now that you guys get the idea, I think I can spin through them a little bit faster. And the hot air rework, I advise anyone who doesn't have one to buy this style. This WEP is no longer rebranded as such. But the 898 I think is pretty common, but anyway, it's rebranded under a whole bunch of different names now I've seen on Amazon lately, and it's in my my Amazon store and stuff too. But it's just been a wonderful tool. It has exceeded every expectation I have ever had of it. It just works. What is going on here? So here's one tip I can give you guys, maybe save you a little bit of trouble. So you can see our UFL connection is here, and we're going to be soldering right beside it, a little to the right, as you've seen up and close. What we don't want to do, because my hot air rework is over here, what you want to do is not blast your hot air across at the UFL connection or anything else that's critical if you can. So you'll see I'm gonna have it at about a 90-degree angle and just sort of be going in between them. Even though it only takes a moment of exposure to the hot air to melt things, if you do get messing around or have any troubles or whatever, and it takes a few seconds, that's all. That amount of heat can destroy that antenna connector in a blink. I do have spares for this exact reason now. I ordered them for this, but I would rather not use one because I have never soldered one of those to a board, and I suspect it could be just a tiny bit tricky. Okay, let's hit it. Our hot air gun will warm up pretty quickly, and try and get a little bit of that flux where it's needed. There we go. I just run the hot air wide open, same as my soldering irons, and I use my distance and movement to regulate the temperature. There we go. Just like that. Another one done. See how we did. Pretty good. That'll do for recycling solder. Nothing wrong with that. That will do the trick. It's kind of neat. 2 of these rescue kits are now in the wild in the US. Both basically along the eastern seaboard, I think. It's kind of neat when I'm assembling them now, knowing that these might actually go somewhere, and they might someday find a lost person or catch poachers in a game preserve or whatever, but who knows, one might actually save a life someday. So it's kind of neat, out of the good old humble ESP8266 board. That rescue was a lot of fun for me. It was a really fun project. It's just been a blast. And now it's at the point where, like, 2 kits is nothing. It's a big deal for me. It's the first 2 electronics kits I've ever sold. So, but it's kind of fun to think about. Expired June 2018 and still works. Yeah, does this have an expiry on it? I never even thought. No. Made by MG Chemicals in Ontario, here in Toronto, not far from Toronto by the 905, but yeah, they didn't, they put a lot number on it, but no, no expiry. Clever. Okay, number 3. Are we gonna have good luck in number 3? This board is not stuck to my sticky tack, so this might be, no, it's not stuck down, and it's being a problem. I'll be chasing it all over the workbench here. There we go. Focus. That should be a little better. Good enough. Okay, heating. Well, my flux buggered off, but we should be alright. That looks bad. There, that just looks a little better maybe. Let's see, how do we do? Actually, it looks funny, but it's not. See if I can get a better angle on it. You could see that line before and it looks like it's cracked, but it's not. But it's gonna crack there. Let's just see if we can add some. That is not good looking. Let's see if we can use, does this stuff have an expiry on it? MG Chemical solder. Nope. So this is leaded solder. I'll just see if we can get some balls on there. Might have to clean that flux off, but because it's just gonna float around. But let's see. Yeah, that's no good. That's no good. That's worse off than when I started. Clean that up. Do it smartly. Might actually touch that with the iron instead of just using goop. Should we do that? How hot's the iron? Iron's warmed up. Let's just use that. Probably on camera. Pretty good. Alright, that's got enough new stuff. Let's make it pretty now. Pretty. All this fuss over one component, but what the heck, right? Get out of there. Good. Good, good. How'd we do? We got rid of that little runner. And we're in good shape. Look at that. That's much better. Okie dokie. Back to the overhead. That will do nicely. That will be all set. I'll test these two just to be sure before I send them out, but I don't anticipate any problems. The only thing that can really happen is like what you saw there. You probably saw that little errant solder ball that's still actually sitting on my microscope stand here, and I chased it away with the hot air. That guy right there. Get one of those that ends up where you don't want it to be, and can make a little bit of a bad day for you, but no big deal. Easy enough to deal with. Okie dokie. Next. What do we got? What what is the PCB? It's ESP8266. Yep, and I used them in a kit, as mentioned there. These are for the Rescue DIY Search and Rescue Kit. And this little resistor is what makes the external antenna connect to the ESP8266. And if we don't move this here little shunt, this little 0 ohm resistor, it'll keep running off the board connection instead of our high gain external antenna that we use on Rescue. I use a rubber duck for the air unit. Perfect, but good enough. I use a rubber duck for the air unit and a big Yagi antenna for the ground. I'll pull one out here in a second. We'll finish these up and then I'll show you a functional unit. Good. Let's clean that up. I'm just taking a little bit of alcohol to them off camera. Here, I'll go back. There we go. I'm just using a little alcohol pump here and a Q-tip to clean them up. We can put them in the ultrasonic, but that's pretty much unnecessary. It's just a little bit of non-corrosive flux on here. It's no problem. Alright. So that one's done too. That one's done. We're down to one. One last one. Back to the overhead. Light burn. I haven't used light burn yet on my laser, but lots of people do. We have more of these. So one of these, if the human malware wasn't prevent people from going outside much. Yeah, yeah, there's not, that's a solid point. There is not a huge requirement for search and rescues when people aren't outside. But yeah, I don't know about selling more of them. Honestly, I haven't advertised it or anything hardly at all, only here on the YouTube channel, because I wouldn't mind selling lots of kits, I guess, but it wasn't my prime motivation. The kit idea was kind of an afterthought when I needed some funds to pay for some of the project and stuff. And I'm like, well, that makes sense. And it turned out I didn't sell any of the kits till after everything was done. But yeah, maybe someday, right? Come on. Move over. There we go. Just like that, she's in place. Like a Dussault. Big gooey mess. Get that flux off of there. Youch! That one must have taken me a little bit more time. That's hot. Wow, did I ever get that board hot? That one's toasty. Ooh-wee. The human malware. Yeah. There was definitely a lot of that. But thankfully all my family's safe. It's been an absolute not a good few months, honestly, for me here, but I shouldn't complain. But this week was an absolute kick in the nuts, and if 2020 does anything more to the people I love, I swear I'm gonna go Don Quixote on this damn thing somehow. It was a bad week this week. Another death in the family for the second time in a matter of weeks. So yeah. All right, we are good there. That is the last one. Let's just double check and make sure Eric got them before I bag them up. That one and that one. I think what I'll do is I'll test them tomorrow morning as I have my coffee. I'll fire them up. Looking good. They're all in good shape. This is the completed ground unit, and this is the Yagi antenna that goes on the UFL connection instead of the other one. This is one of my prototype ground units, but there's all the rescue hardware. All of that comes in a kit, except, well, without the LiPo, without the Power Boost 500, but let's not dox myself, but there, before it gets a GPS position, because it will get a GPS position down here. I don't know how it's doing that, but it has no trouble getting GPS time, and then it somehow gets enough signals for a 3D fix. I don't know how it does it, but it does. It might only be a 2D fix. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at it over serial, but yeah, that's the unit. We just sniff for people, and it works wonderfully well. I was a Hackaday finalist in the 2020 Hackaday prize, but turns out I should have stuck a heater to some foam. Would have had better luck in the category I was in, because didn't get it so much as a sticker. Oh, such is life. Alright, we are good to go. We should build something else tonight, I think. Maybe, I got something. Soldering iron's fired up, why not? Oops. There we go. Make sure it wasn't in its cooling cycle. This thing, when it's on the cradle, it's got a hall sensor, and it was cooling down, but yeah, I guess it was, but it wasn't sitting in place anyway. Now it is. Okay, so what I'll do with these is I'll test them all, and then I'll reseal these baggies with my my seal-a-meal. Actually, works wonderful to seal them up. One of those things for vacuum food saving. Works wonderful, and it works great for vacuum food saving too. But I'll seal it right up, and then I put a little hologram sticker on it to know that these are complete with firmware, and then they will go in the kits, and then maybe someday someone will purchase them. I have one currently in stock of the rescue kits, and this will make grand total of 6, and those are complete, which is going to be pretty cool. Right on. Happy about that. What temp do I use for air soldering? Wide open on that wet. Set to 450 degrees, and then I regulate the heat with the distance to the nozzle, and I regulate the heat transfer with how fast I move the nozzle around. And that's how I do it. And the same with the soldering iron. The soldering iron is maxed out 480 degrees all the time, and that's the way I work with all my irons and have all my life. It works good. You just have to be careful. Sometimes I'll turn the iron down on real sensitive stuff, small components, because you will scorch the board at that temperature. But for big stuff like anything this size or bigger that we're working with, it's fine. Does the alcohol dissolve the flux or just thin it out for cleaning? No, the alcohol will... the flux dissolves in the alcohol, and the alcohol cleans without leaving residue. Get one of the pump. Looks easier than I normally do. Yeah, you want these pumps. If you go down into my links in the description, there is tools I use. I keep an Amazon storefront, and all of the things that you will see here that I have used for years and years and years and have tried and proven themselves, i.e. these, are in my store. What you don't want to get is you don't want to get these. These are marketed to like nail salons and stuff for acetone, for nail polish remover. Same thing, it has a pump in the top. Doesn't work worth a shit. It leaks, the tops leak on them. They're just really, really junk with a really junk pump. But this monster here, this feels like a Nalgene bottle. It's the same plastic as a Nalgene, I think. And the pump is really high quality. I dropped it the other day and popped it out, so I just popped it in there. But yeah, no leak, no muss, no fuss. It seals up, no evaporation. Just wonderful. Essential tool on the workbench. Absolutely essential. Just wonderful. And then what you do is you take and do what I have up here buried that you can hardly see. Take a Ziploc bag and cut a window in it. and then put your Q-tips in. So you just reach in and grab a Q-tip, and then use your Q-tip, throw it in the garbage, and hangs on any pegboard or whatever, and it just works way better than having them in the box. Because usually when I'm cleaning things and fussing around with that small stuff, I want things that I can just reach up with one hand and grab it and go, and that works just wonderful, I've found. Tasty tricks and tidbits and whatnot. You could bring your cams, set up Lightburn. No. No. So the only Lightburn stuff I know of was the I don't even think I can run Lightburn on my K40 laser with the current controller, but on the K40 group on Facebook that I'm in, a lot of people use Lightburn for doing putting pictures onto wood and stuff, and it works wonderful. I just use K40 Whisper and it controls my laser fine. So but it can't do rastering and stuff like Lightburn is for doing photo transfers and stuff. So, but long story short, I'm sorry I can't help you, bud. I'm dumb on that stuff. What about the link for the rescue kit? Yeah, if you want a rescue kit, so just go to, well, you can go to any of my rescue videos, but the quickest way, you can just go to store.makeme.org, store.mkme.org, and go into the custom category. It's linked at the top or even on your mobile. It's a category all its own, and in there is the components that I've made custom. Of which you will find the rescue kits and all the I just started putting my PCBs on there. I've had a store for years and I was too dumb to put my own stuff in the store, so you'll find circuit boards for all my projects going back to the urban kitchen garden, gas sensor for emergency workers, then all the PCBs for rescue, as well as the kits, the various kits that I have for rescue. Right now I have, you can find the main kit, which is this guy, and the ones that we just made is going to be this. It's a 2-part kit with enclosures, laser cut enclosures and everything. But I also have the last order, the gentleman, he bought the ESP32 camera kit. It's an add-on that rescue triggers the camera, ESP32 standalone camera, to take a picture every time it senses a new MAC address, which is pretty cool for, well, there's a lot of things it could be used for, a lot of things, like a lot of stuff, but primarily you can use it in the airborne drone to take a picture downward, or in game preserves. Anytime somebody comes into a game preserve with a camera in their pocket, it'll take their picture, which is pretty cool. But you could also use it you could use it like CIA style and put it stationary anywhere and track anybody's comings and goings. It's actually, there's a lot more uses to rescue and surveillance than there is for rescuing people. So but no one has freaked out about that yet, which is actually shocking to me. I expected the privacy advocates, so to speak, to catch on to what you could do with it much quicker than they have, because yeah, if you wanted to track all the the comings and goings of one person, this tool will do that for you. You could put it anywhere and have a data GPS tag track record of everywhere they went, like coming and going from a stationary location. Yeah, crazy. Canadian detective, yeah. Yeah. What gave it away? The it wouldn't be that, eh? Or was it the A's or the boots? I don't have any maple syrup. Is that foam airplane still available? You mentioned they discontinue from time to time. Oh, you're talking about my yeah, still available, both of them. I'm assuming you're talking about this one, the Sonic model mini AR wing. I bought 2 spares of this. This is a brand new kit, never opened. I have 2 of those, and then I have 4 nano talons of different types. 1 Black Ops, 1 Evo, and 2 standards. And we're gonna build the Black Ops right here. I actually have all the components out for this right now. I dug them out last night and got them finalized. I have 2 projects. If you guys are interested, if you like RC stuff, here is what I do. This is for the Black Ops Nano Talon here, without wings on it obviously, but this is all the running gear that I've kind of, like, unlike anybody else, I gotta save up and can't just spend a bunch of crazy money all at once, so I buy the components one by one if I don't have them. So here I have the 3DR telemetry radio, Team Black Sheep nano receiver that'll go ridiculously far, the Maytech flight control that just came in this week, my first time using the F722 SE. That shouldn't be in here. That is the wrong place. That is supposed to go in the quadcopter box. We're going to actually be using that, the 722 wing, for this, and then there's our FPV gear all ready to go into this plane. And then I have another box started for the next drone that I'm going to start building tonight probably. Or I can do it live too at some point, but this is going to be a 450 size quadcopter, a great big RC Gut would call it shit puller. Anyway, same kind of gear, TBS, nano receiver, 1 watt video transmitter, run cam split, props, motors, everything. And now this was the piece I was waiting for. It just came in this week, 722 SE flight control. I've never used before, but this is what we're going to use on this drone, this big 450 size drone for lifting stuff and doing cool fun projects that involve lifting things into the sky. So that's on the sitting here brand new in the box too. But anyway, to your question, the original question where I went all sideways, all the foam planes that I recently built are still available, with the exception of this one. This was a limited edition. This Black Ops Nano Talon, they were only a limited run. I don't think you can get them anymore, but that was by design by the manufacturer to get people hyped up about it. It's pretty neat. It's pretty cool. I love these planes. I love them. Huge payload. You know, like, just fill it full of stuff. And it carries a rescue air just beautifully. Does search and rescue right out of the box. Pretty cool. A lot of fun. But, catch up with you guys real quick. For the rescue air. Yeah, those nano talons, that's it. And new phones randomize the beacon of max. Yeah, only iPhone that I'm aware of. In all my testing, Android does not randomize Mac unless you do something to make it do that. iPhone, yep. iPhone randomizes it and does that exactly, but for the purposes of search and rescue, it's no problem when you're only looking for one target. But for tracking, yes, there is that. My iPhone does it. It spams about 100 different MAC addresses in a few minutes, which is fine. It just makes it harder to tell how many targets I'm chasing if the person is carrying an iPhone in the bush. Which is, it's okay. Don't care. They all the RSSI gives it away. That's the thing with the rescue is even with the iPhone in my testing. When I was testing with my own phone in the Maitland Woods here on a really lousy fall day, I took my iPhone and an Android, and I used the iPhone first, and I was disgruntled. I forgot about the IP or the MAC address spamming, and then I noticed that all the RSSI values were identical, so I could track the thing anyway. I knew it was one hit. It was pretty easy to see when they were all to the same decimal place for relative signal strength, so it worked just fine. So yeah, pretty cool. But it's cold outside, and this is a fun little project that I wanted to do that we may... I gotta look at the time. I might have to jump off here, but this is what I was going to do tonight, was take these old heater things that are for heating up your car. And, oh, cool. Richie's Radio Room. Cheers. Thanks for the super chat. I think that's my first super chat ever on here, I think. But yeah, thanks very much. Appreciate that. So these, I bought this on eBay, and I used to see them on the dashboard of old pickup trucks in the 80s because the heater sucks so bad in them. It's just a fan or heater, 12 volt. I don't even know how many amp it is. I didn't do an amp test on it yet. I did test to make sure it works last night, and it's real low speed fan in here. And what we're going to do is I have a big transmitter mitt that I use for when I'm flying RC in the winter, and I never go out and fly because my hands get cold. We're going to take this, we're going to choppy, we're going to solder, and we are going to run it off of a 4-cell lithium-ion pack, which I've already filed away. My lithium-ion pack for my Nano Talons runs it perfectly. I tried one last night. I tried both of them last night. This one blew the fuse that I had in my fused link, so this one draws a lot. It's a hair dryer, but this I think is going to be just perfect. Other than its physical size, which is a little annoying, it's got nothing that I can touch to burn myself. It puts out nice slow air, and it'll just sit in the bottom of my transmitter mitt and keep my hands nice and warm. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty cool. Ah, Raspberry Rock, cheers. Hey buddy, how are you? Another fellow YouTuber. Raspberry Rock is not too far from me here in Ontario. Cheers. Part heater, part spaceship. Yeah, it's like Millennium Falcon, right? Like something like that. I don't even know. Yeah. So I think we are. Why is my phone going so bananas? Oh, it's IFTTT is letting me know that I got that super chat from Richie's Radio Room. I didn't even know IFTTT did that. I didn't know I had that set up. I am actually paying for the If This Then That subscription because I like it so much. But should we? Yeah, let's make one of these up now. What I wanted to do though is just off camera. I'm hoping that I'm going to video some of this. So I need the B-roll. What I'm planning is a video. Just check my. Yeah, that should be fine. What I'm planning is just a quick little video of some of these little projects that I'm doing as a projects you can do while you're stuck in lockdown kind of thing. Like, hey, like cheap stuff. Like these were I think $8 and $10 respectively, which is like pretty awesome. Again, that was slow boated, but yeah, whatever. What do we got? One of those subscriber count thingies. Yeah, no, I can't get a good number on the subscriber counter, and that one is so badly broken, it's ridiculous. It's the ESP has always been funky in it. It works some days and some days not, and I can see it logged into the Wi-Fi, and it changes its identifier, which is weird, and yeah, it's dodgy. But yeah, you can't get anything but the rounded numbers anymore, I think. The actual number is only available within the creator. Yeah. No, you could scrape it and do it manually. You could get the exact number. You can do it. It's just most of the libraries with the standard API aren't going to get you there. So, but that's fine. It is what it is, right? How close do we need to be? Do you want to only change a few times a day? Yeah, mine. Chat froze. Ah, there's not that much chat. That's maybe why it's froze. All right. So, what should we do here? We want... What do we want? Oh yeah, we want... Jeez, I'm gumming and not recording. I got two cameras going. We want to cut... I want to be able to still plug it into my automotive outlet. So what I'm going to do... I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it right now. Whilst I'm thinking. We're going to snippy snip. And then we're going to put an XT60 on the end of this so that I can... Oh, jeez. We're going to put an XT60 on the end of there. This style XT60. That way we can still plug it in. XT60, XT60 automotive. And that way I can either use battery pack or plug it into my car. Because if I'm flying from just outside the car door, as I would kind of like to go do tomorrow, I don't need to run it off battery. So we'll do both. Froze again. Yeah, sorry, I'm not sure. YouTube's a little funny lately for all live streamers, I've noticed. I didn't catch your stream last night. I had full intentions. I think City Girl was even home for you last night, right? And you got your internet fixed. I saw that this week. I didn't comment on your video, but I meant to. Horrible for that. I should try and I used to really try and make an effort to comment on everybody's videos that I watched, but I've been getting lazy. You just spin through and watch something and then quick move on. Alright. This was just pay no attention to this shoddy solder job on here because I just tacked it on to test last night, and I only covered it up in black electrical tape so it wouldn't short to anything on my bench, because it was getting pretty late when I was messing with it. Alright, I don't think we will use a new XT60. I don't think we will even clean these up hardly at all. We will just solder to the outside of them and it will be absolutely fine. Come on. There we go. Guess I should be gentler when I'm moving the camera and maybe make... which way do we want this? Oh, which way do we want it? We want that to go on the fan, on the heater. Yes, we want this way. Okay, so we need to know what polarity this is. Let's tin the wires. On camera, Eric. Sorry, guys. I put both wires into the XT60. No adapter to loose. Yeah, but then you end up with this being live backfed from your battery, which would be undesirable. It'd be fine. Truthfully, it would be fine, because you're not, the odds of getting back to something that's shared metal here with, yeah, no, it's not gonna, it would be fine, but I'm just gonna have the adapter, because then I'll use it for something else. It's a good idea though. Mine didn't last very long. Internet crapping. Crud. I have a few hours till live. I'm supposed to be editing a video for tomorrow. This is more interesting. Probably start transferring video files. Well, I don't know how interesting this will be, but I'm glad you could stop by. This is just silly building. I need XT60 connectors. I'm using old used ones here, guys. I'm cheap. For this job, that thing's gonna draw like 5 amps or something. It's gonna be minimal. So we want that onto there, and just one, I guess, would be fine. Yeah, just one will be fine. Just crap there. Can we get? There's my camera. See if we can get, oh yeah, no problem. These wires go down inside the throat of an XT60, and because there's wire already in there, and these things take a lot of heat, like they're designed for 60 up to 60 amps continuous. I'm just gonna tack onto the end of it. We're only gonna draw, like, we can't draw any more than 10 amps, I don't think, out of any auxiliary outlet, so this would be fine. But what does matter is our polarity here. So back to what I was doing. Let's Let's tin some wire, and then we will hook it up to the bench power supply and figure out which one is what. It's just going to be a heating element and a brushed DC motor in there. There's nothing to it, so we can just hook it up and see which way makes it happy and spins the right way. Alright. I got 2 cameras going. Alright. And we need some power. Let's get around 12 volts, and we can pretty much max out the current. Off camera, I just unplugged one lead from my power supply, because these are pretty close together. I'd rather not short. Okie dokie, 12.7 volts, go. Nothing happened. Did you try turning it on first? Okay, on heat, it is blowing the correct way. On fan, it blows a lot faster. Let's see if it gets hot. I'm probably, yeah, we're maxed out. It's at 5 amps. Is it going to get hot? Yeah, it's warming up. Really low fan speed here. Wow. That's perfect, actually. That's wonderful. It's just basically a trickle. Let's double check and make sure that that isn't what happens when we go the other way. Nothing. That's kind of odd, but that's alright. Might have a protection circuit in there after all. Okay, yep, we're good. That's kicking some heat. That'll be just wonderful. That will just keep my hands toasty toasty. We can run it off of, I'm going to run it off a 4-cell lithium ion pack likely. But you could run it off of whatever you've got. Alright. Sweet. Oh, sorry about that. I'm really rough with this camera today. In heat mode, does it run off the heater? And yes, I'm pretty sure you are exactly on it. I think in heat, it's the heat and the fan in series, because it goes way faster on just fan. It could be just that I'm loading it down, I'm not giving it full current, but I think you're right. Okie dokie, so we want positive to that side. I marked that wire as best I can. That's not going to be great. We're just gonna lock the solder right to the side of it. It's not going to be pretty for this case. It'd be a lot easier if I was using a new XT60, but like I said before, I am cheap today. I'm gonna save my XT60s. Come on. My third hand is getting kind of weak. This is why I run this iron wide open. See how that melted right into the inside? I don't know whether you can pick that up on camera, but that went right into that big solder blob in the XT60. It just melted right into the middle of it, which is actually better than I anticipated. Which wouldn't have been a problem if I was using a new one. Yes, I shouldn't cheap out, but we'll just let that warm up. Ouch! Yeah. Hot. And no bueno. She's up to temperature now. The whole thing's molten. Hot. Perfect. That will do. Is it gonna work? You guys tell me. I think that battery's in storage charge. It's on fan. Ouchie! Hot! Very hot. Alright. We've got fan and heat. And this is running, this is on full 4S. It's in storage charge, or should be in storage charge, so it's running a little faster. And it kicked out heat faster too. Ooh wee, that just works wonderful. That is perfect. That is exactly what I wanted. That is going to be perfect. I'll take this silly bracket off, or what I'll do is I'll take a piece of foam board and mount that to it and stick it. Nah, there's no need. I can just chuck this thing. All it needs is this not to be choked, so I'll put it this way in the bottom of my transmitter glove and just let it blow the air around. And I may have to put it on some kind of a timer or something. I don't know. We'll find out. One way to find out is to just go out and try it. And if nothing else, well, I can just set the thing on the ground and warm my hands up by it periodically. Like, you don't have to leave it run, I can just turn it off. So yeah, this will work. Just anything to get outside and get flying a little bit more and just out and enjoy life a little bit, I think would be a good idea. I could have used heat shrink on this, but we're doing a poverty build. And then what we'll do is, I forget what wire is what, so we'll just have to measure that quick. We will hook this side to the XT60 here, and then we can have our adapter to run it off the car when we want to. There we go. There we go. Alright. Built-in safety case to get the fan open, circuit breaker will shut off instead of overheating. Yes, yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, which is actually surprising that this one really, it looks better quality than what I expected. I thought it was really going to be a piece of junk. Anything that's sold around here would have definitely protection. Let's see. Does it even have a fuse in it? Place your bets. I'm betting no. Wah, wah, wah. Not even a fuse in the end of them. That used to be a thing back when I was in the trade. When things are made well, there should be fuse protection right in the end of this barrel. And wah, wah, wah. Wonder if our hair dryer has it. I can tell by the weight. The answer is no. And how cheap this is. Yeah. Nope. Same deal. Cheap, cheap, cheap. But good enough for our use here. Let's, if I stop smashing into the camera, let's just take our ohm meter and measure which is which. If I remember right, negative should be down the side. Been out of the trade a while, but I remember that much. Oh, I can't see my meter. Come on. Shorty is negative. Shorty is negative. Negative to my side. Negative to my side. Let's need to go the other way around, Eric. Smarten up. Hold on to the connector as it's freaking scalding hot and burning me. Yeah, that's gonna work. Negative to this side then. Negative to closest to me. How about that? Again, this is the same story as before, except now we can't get down inside this connector because it is right full of solder and there is no side access on this one. But we might be able to warm it up and jam it in. Oh, we did too. Look at that. Touch the jacket, the insulation of the wire, and instantly that's what that smoke and stink was. That is really garbage wire. But that's okay. It's plenty good enough for this use. In our case. Alright, let's get this. Put a little side pressure, like so. Good enough. Tin, clean, tin, goo. Geez, that iron's having a good day today. That just warmed up and melted in. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. It tricked me. I was gonna say, even that's ridiculous. This is a good iron, but it's not that good. Alright, there we go. Tin, goo. There we go. Melt in there. There we go. Yo, gee! Hot. Good, good. Good, good. Sweet. Let that cool for a second. We'll hit her with some tape. That'll be done. That will be done deal. Oops. Almost lost yous. Cool. Alright. That will work just tickety-boo. So now we have an adapter that I can hook anything XT60. I think I already even have an adapter for this somewhere in the car probably, because I think I made something else for one of my chargers once upon a time, but this will be alright. And now even my electrical tape is old and yucky. I'm spent some money, I think. Alright, one more time. Fan. Blows. Heat. Let that warm up for a second. I guess I could get my thermal camera out to show you guys, but you can probably take my word for it too. It's working just beautiful. That's just perfect. It's hot, but it's not crazy. It might get significantly hotter yet too, the longer that runs. It's got a fairly big heat sink inside there. Some kind of aluminum of an element. So once it's up to temperature, yeah, just doing some shots here. Good enough. Good enough. Good enough. Good enough. Good enough. Alright, I think I might shut it down there. Oh, my camera just went dead. Handy dandy. Might just shut it down there. Thanks, thanks for stopping by, guys. That was a lot of fun. I got something done. Got to hang out with you guys. I like hanging out with you guys. My subscribers are just awesome folk. We're all a lot of similar interests and similar thought processes, and just good people to hang out with, you guys. I really appreciate you coming around and all the support you guys have given me and all these projects and all the help and all the things. And even Tech Mason's here, he's been a supporter of mine forever, and yeah, you guys are great. Thanks, guys, and I'll try and do some more live streams if you want. If you want to see this quad build, I'll maybe live stream that. I don't mind live streaming a quad build. It's slow, but it's fun. It's irrelevant whether I'm streaming or not. I'm gonna screw up either way, so I might as well show it on the internet. Cheers, guys. Have a good one.